Welcome to the Vermont Dog Trainer Show. Today is a huge milestone. This is episode number 600 of the podcast. And I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate than with a guest who has influenced dog trainers and dog owners around the world. He's a household name known for his calm, confident energy and his ability to transform even the most challenging dogs. You know him from his best selling books, countless dog training television shows totaling 20 years on TV, and his incredible work rehabilitating dogs and educating owners. It's an absolute honor to welcome Cesar Millan to the show.
Thank you. That's very nice. You sounded like a every because you're part of the family. So I was not
Yeah.
expecting all of that beautiful stuff, but I appreciate it. Thank
Well,
you
I
for
won't.
reminding me the accomplishments.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I won't tell you that your mom sent that in to me to read about you.
I'm pretty sure.
So first thing I want to find out from you is obviously these fires got really, really bad in California. So how close was this to the ranch, and how does it affect the animals in any way that you observed?
Well, we at this point we actually evacuated, so they were very close.
Wow.
Especially where were we? Virginia? Where were we? Yeah, we were in North Carolina when my team needed to evacuate, the team that
Yeah.
needed to evacuate. Before that, we were ready to help people, but we were always like thinking, what, we can't yet bring people, animals here because we still in the zone, so
Yeah.
it was scary. It was definitely scary. It's a good time to practice, what you said about confidence, with the fire and a lot of prayer, which is something that I do all the time. But when you're in front of such a uh, ginormous amount of wind that is pushing this fire so fast, it's like you can't train yourself or something like that.
Yeah. So was there smoke literally rolling through the DPC at that time, even?
We didn't have to smoke. The wind was on our favor, but the
Oh,
wind could change anytime, right? So that's the part
yeah.
where I was grateful that we didn't have the wind because, and then the animals will feel captured, right? Because we had to keep them here. We got to contain. Everybody's here. We all smelling it. So no, we didn't get the wind. We didn't. I'm sorry. We get the wind in our favor.
Yeah. It's amazing how Mother Nature can have that effect, right? One little shift like wind, obviously, then you have animals with their energy, and obviously you have a certain energy at the ranch, how that can, they go into their instinctual mode that they're in already, but then it certainly can intensify if there's, a natural disaster happening. So, I mean, we don't
It's a
get
lot
that kind of
more.
thing in Vermont, so I can't imagine it's got to be kind of scary.
It's a lot much stronger, for people that work with dogs. Yeah, they're sensitive, but the flight animals are even more sensitive,
Yeah.
right? And so you can see their concern, their worriness. You can feel their energy when they're like 4th of July for dogs, right? For farm animals, just smelling, fire at a distance, it already tells them, run, and they're
Yeah.
not allowed to run, right? Because they're
Yeah.
they're they're farm animals. So you mentioned the energy. How is the energy affected? Well, we get to practice what I teach. Yeah, you get to practice being calm. You get to practice staying faithful. Noble silence. Keep the love. Keep the joy. Those are the times. Those are the times for me working with dogs. Is what I started this energy, this philosophy, these actions, but then it moved everywhere, right? Because then the more you get into this world of people knowing about you, there's other challenges,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I practice calm, confident with the dogs, but then in the other areas where I'm breaking through a barrier of, okay, it's a Latino guy on TV, 20 years, da 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 da. And people attack you, and that's another way. Like I say, is aggression is not just with the dogs, but it's the same energy, the same philosophy, and same actions you can practice. So for those people who have haters, calm, confident, love, joy.
So you mentioned all this time on TV, Caesar. What for you personally in your journey with it, what sticks out the most in 20 years on TV? I mean, you've handled countless dogs and dealt with countless owners and their um, issues, if you will, of dealing with their dogs. So, what for you sticks out the most for all your time on television?
When they told me that I was 20 years on TV, which I was
Mm.
last year, I just go. For me is don't get do not allow yourself to become bored because that's my biggest problem, right? If I and so I just go on the zone, I just go like a border collie and just do the herding, bring in the business, do what I gotta do. But then I never thought about how long have I been on TV.
Mm.
So that to me was a big shock. It's like the first day when the LA Times told me, hey, what would you like to do 5 years from now? Which is a concept that was unheard of for me because where I'm from, you can't guarantee another day. I'm from Sinaloa, so and right now everybody knows that that's where people are getting killed, 60 people a day. You know, so
Wow.
so life and death is something that I knew more than planning for the future.
Mm.
Right. So the first time they told me about, what would you like to do 5 years from now? I was like, wow, you can guarantee 5 years. I would like to have a TV show. And then
Yeah.
from that point on, when the article came out on a Monday, that was a big deal, right? Because the people came after me saying this. And then 20 years later, fast forward, uh, my team says, hey, you're going to be 20 years on TV? What?
It's crazy.
Crazy. No, Andres older, Calvin is older. So I know they got older. I just didn't know I was 20 years on TV.
Mm.
So it was a big shock. Obviously, all the animals, all the dogs that I work, all the people that I help, has definitely marked this this philosophy that unconsciously knew, but through teaching it, it became more clear, right? Because it's not
Yeah.
like somebody taught me, but it was coming through me, and I was teaching you, I was teaching everybody else that would come here, and until I broke it down, because English is not my first language, so I had to break down, so it can make sense, and that's when I came out formula, ritual, symbols, energy, philosophy, actions, and I'm glad that you're asking me in number 600 because I love number three. Favorite number, So it's like, yeah, I would like to do it in the 600. That means two, three.
Yes. So that had to have been a big shift for you mentally, going from not knowing what you're going to be doing tomorrow, surviving tomorrow, to now looking 5 years ahead, right? So for you, for where you're from, and then all of a sudden this kind of pops up of like, this is actually a possibility. Like 5 years from now, I never thought of that. I would think that was a significant shift in your thinking, your mentality during that time of your life, right?
Yeah, because it's guarantee of life, right? Everybody wants you to guarantee their job, but when somebody said you can have life guarantee, that's like a precious, valuable concept, right? And a lot of people take for granted because you don't hear death in America, and you're not allowed to see death, right? And for
Right.
Mexicans, as soon as we grew up, as soon as we were born, El Dia de los Muertos, the day of the death, and we live in a narco state, and so death is imminent, right? And so when you get this because it was a concept for me, I never heard it,
Mm.
and then they can guarantee life. That was a beautiful thing. That was a beautiful moment, right? Because God wants to guarantee life, but you also have to make sure, where are you moving? Where's the land? Is the land safe, peace, love? Is the people trust, respect, love? Are you doing your exercise, discipline, affection? Because you can also kill yourself, right? You can
Right.
also having this beautiful land of America, and America can become overweight, right? When everything is perfect, safe, peace, love, people want to achieve trust, respect, love, right? It's called first world country. But you can also kill yourself by doing the wrong thing. So it's
Yeah.
this concept of like understanding the guarantee of life. It was a very powerful moment.
Is there one dog out of the 20 years on TV that you look back at that you're already nodding your head yes? So there's something right there at the surface. So what dog is it for you?
Brunello. Brunello, because I work with severe cases, but
Yep.
I never worked with a dog that was blind, deaf, and had a neurological problem, which
Mm.
you guys will understand. When the wires are not connected, you
Yeah.
can give medications for that, right? You can give medication for that, but that just a dog that has a neurological problem, but the dog is deaf and blind, and it's extremely aggressive.
Mm.
right? And he's been doing that for 6 years. So to influence the brain, normally I do the or I, move, or I bring a bird, or I bring something so I can
Yeah.
capture the eyes. So I couldn't capture the ears or the eyes.
Mm.
And the nose was just so like gone with any kind of object. And so he became really good about finding things with his nose,
Mm.
and and he was extremely powerful, like a dragon powerful, and so and then of course I have to in the show you only have 4 sessions because it's a
Yeah.
show, right? So
Right.
you're getting this pressure from the network that you have to deliver this this thing, and we did. This is the times where I pray a lot. I do a lot of more of the rituals, and most people don't. They think I just rollerblade or swim with the dog, or no, but I pray a lot. I pray a lot, because this is the miracle ones. This is the magical ones. This is the one you need that extra uh magic from another planet, because they're
I-
spiritual. Animals are spiritual, so you can ask the spirits to come and help you. Just like an animal can be influenced by the mind or by the heart or the instincts, they can also be influenced by spirit, which is something that a lot of people don't use that source. Most people use treats and balls, right?
yeah.
The positive reinforcement. But when you're really doing miracles, you have to go after spirit. And Brunello is without a doubt is the most.
Mm.
It's funny because at the 20 years of Mark, Brunello came along. So
Wow.
I can graduate, right? Because I have to
Yeah.
graduate my energy, I have to graduate my philosophy, I have to graduate my actions. So the challenge have to be big.
Yeah.
So literally like the House of Dragons of the Game of Thrones, right?
Mm.
It's about dragons, it's not about dogs.
Yeah. So I first attended your Training Caesar's Way 2014 and in Florida. And I remember leaving there and thinking, okay, there's a number of dogs that I've dealt with in the past that now wish I had a second chance at, right? Because I have this new knowledge. I find myself every time I go out there, right? I learn something new, whether it's from you or Todd or whoever, right? Just in all of our talking, watching, observing, that kind of thing. Is there any of these dogs in the last 20 years, Caesar, that you look back at and that you either wish you could have done something differently or wanted to do something differently with them?
I'm a Virgo, so I'm gonna do beautiful structure clear. So I'm not gonna leave until it's clear. So I don't feel incomplete. You know what I mean? That's why I
Yeah.
can move on. I can move on because otherwise I won't move on. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't do nothing different, right? Because I was clear. Yes, I would never leave a case just begin, or in the
Yeah.
middle. It's beginning, middle, end. And because that is very important to me because it allows me to have a free mind, right? Because when you do incomplete things, you still left them incomplete, right? And because I believe in energy, I make sure that my energy is clean.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or it's
Yeah.
completed. The task, the mind did what. So it's all about honor, integrity, right? It's all about that.
Yeah.
That's it. So I feel great. Many times I don't remember because it's gone, right? I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
remember every single case. I don't. Uh, I don't. As you present me a case, somehow I have the strength to fix it, right? And even
Yeah.
though I never work with that particular case, my mind goes into we can accomplish it. So I
For
have an internal conversation with me, but it comes with all this completion. Like I'm a good student. I do my homework
mm.
and I finish it.
For us as dog trainers, with dogs in our hands every day and the leash in our hands every day, we get better at sensitivity on the leash. We get better at timing. We get better with our own energy. Is there any way that you can kind of quantify or explain how much that's changed for you in the last 20 years on TV with your timing? I mean, obviously, the more we practice something, the better we're going to get, right? Regardless of what that is. So, do you feel your actual skills have improved? And if so, how much over that time?
The older I get, the more I live in noble silence, the more calm I seek, the more positivity, the more understanding love. Like, you don't really need the frequency of love to rehabilitate or help somebody, right? Because if you want to help somebody, you do it with patience, with calmness, with positivity, and that's practically you can help a person, right? So the love is something that I I learned to self-love so I can give that pure love, and coming from a Latino background, we get confused. And I'm pretty sure a lot of men are confused about love and they're not clear, right? So when they say I'm loving, love is an energy, is a frequency, is a reward. Uh, but the older I get, the more I seek for the noble silence, and that gives you access to the assessment and evaluation. Assess and
I
evaluate
see.
is number one, right? And so once your spirit and your instinct knows what to do, then the mind, if we haven't seen it, then the mind creates a new way, right? And
Yeah.
like I said, the heart is just to reward after the dog done this calm surrender or happy-go-lucky, because that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really fast about helping the dog get to the calm surrender and the happy-go-lucky, so I can give him the love. The love is the reward, right? The
Yeah.
protection and the direction is with the silence, the calmness, and confidence,
So you
right?
feel like you've, in a way, your ability for the noble silence has gotten better, right? Because you're able to kind of just take that extra moment or two, or go into a deeper silence, relaxation, energy, so that you're able to take in more information from that dog. Is that kind of what you feel like you're trying to say?
Because the one that tells you I'm not happy is the spirit of a dog. The one that tells you I'm not healthy is the instincts of a dog. The one that tells you I don't know what love means because my dog lovers, parents love me all the time, even when I'm not
Mm,
happy, even when I'm not healthy, even when I'm confused. You see, and that's what I'm saying. The
yeah.
love, I don't think we understand it the way we should, because we give it at all the time. I mean, we work with people who give loves all the time. So
Yes.
so the rewarding and their timing or the reason of it actually creates confusion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely the silence that allows me to see the happiness, low, medium, high, the calmness that allows me to see the health, low, medium, high, right? And then the confidence that allows me to see the fight, flight, avoidance, right? Because that's in the mind, right? And so before the dog is going to bite, the dog is going to tell you why I'm going to bite, why he is unhappy, why he's unhealthy, right? And so
Yeah.
that you get to measure it with your silence and your calmness. You get to okay, I'm going to help you with your confidence, right? But the assessment and evaluation,
Yeah.
that's the one, because the dog said, thank you for honoring my spirit, thank you for honoring my instinct. Now you can do this with my mind. Then love is extra. Then the dog, what? This energy? My parents will never give me that energy, right? The
Yeah.
dog parents will never give love energy. They expect good behavior. It's like the Marines, right? You're not gonna get love. It's expectation. You expect to keep things alive.
You know what's interesting, and obviously mental health is a big issue, and it's spoken about quite a bit. I've walked into houses where as soon as I walk in, I'll see an anxious dog, and the dog just does laps around the couch, and you can tell the dog is so worried and so afraid. And it's interesting to me that a dog owner would allow their dog to do that, but I feel like if one of their best friends walked into their house and their best friend did laps around the couch being anxious, they would probably stop their friend and say, "Hey, what's going on? Slow down." Why do you think that is, Caesar, that people are more apt to let a dog do something like that where they wouldn't let one of their friends do it?
Because with the dog, they're doing it with the heart, and with their friends, they're doing it with their common sense,
Mm,
right? Remember, our clients go from the heart to the mind or the mind to the heart, right?
yeah,
And so the mind is going to go, you know what? You're driving me crazy. I don't need for you to go around the couch. I don't think it's a good behavior. So your common sense will kick in
yeah,
because it's true, right? There's no need for the dog to go around the couch. It's actually really bad. right? Because he's confused, so he's pacing. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
He's draining energy. That you and I know that he's draining energy, but he's draining energy the wrong way. I always tell people, if a dog in America can smoke, it will be a lot of dogs smoking and drink, right? Because
For sure.
they don't do much with their energy. Versus a dog in a third world country, the dog is skinny, but they don't have psychological problems. Dog in America is chunky, and I get to have a TV show. But at the same time, this is the dogs that we work with. You know,
Yeah.
this is the dogs that seem to have wealth, financial wealth, but they develop mental health or mental problems.
Hmm.
And for me, mental health or mental problems, uh, uh, if you don't have like a neurological something, it's different, right? People with Down syndrome is
Right.
different.
Right.
But the people that they say, "Oh, I have mental thing." Well, you're either bored or frustrated, or you don't have a sense of direction,
Hmm.
right? And the only thing those people have to do, they just have to go to a third world country, go see misery, go see people being happy with very little, and that will give you a different perspective. And then you come back to America, a place where mental health is really is where we know about it. Because in third world countries, nobody talks about mental health. They talk about health,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
what you're going to find in third world countries, you're going to find people with a high level spirituality. Why? Because they're happy to be alive,
Hmm.
right? And so at the moment you become grateful and thankful, your mind is no longer controlled by your thoughts. It's controlled by the gratitude. It's
Hmm.
control you thinking your parents. Even if you don't talk to your parents, you're still alive. The sperm and the oh, I think they came together and you were born. So you can tell your mind, listen, I just want to practice gratitude and thankfulness and just go for a walk. And go for a walk until I'm tired, or I do a cold plunge like Wim Hof. And once you finish, you're gonna come to this calm, surrender, happy-go-lucky moment, and your mental health will go away. I'm talking about people who are just bored, frustrated, which is most of them, or just they're just allowing confusion to come inside of them, right? That's
Right.
it. That's practically it. So I'm great. I would say that there is a large percentage of these people who are not even doing exercise, discipline, affection, who are not there. Hey, how is my spirit? Hey, how is my instinct? Hey, how is my heart? Hey, how is my mind? And then self knowledge. Who is this guy? And then self value and self love. That's your homework. Because once you do all of that, you get to see that life is like Jesus. We're here for such a period of time,
Hmm.
and it's birth, life, and death. We're all going to die, but why die unhappy, unhealthy, and with not knowing how to fully love and not seeing how much your mind can create,
And with
right?
regret, probably too.
You're gonna die like that. So
Yeah.
I believe in energy, and I believe that you're gonna come back with the energy you left. so I suggest to people to tell God, I want to die happy, healthy, loving, smart, and the next life I want to come back the same way. And then the projects that you have in your mind are pushed by happiness, health, and love. You see it? Because that's how I did what I did: faith, hard work, passion, and then I want to be the best doctor in the world. That's what's in my head. What pushed that idea is the faith, the instincts, and the heart. I trust myself. I respect myself. I love myself. I did that unconsciously, but that's how I did it. There is no other sources. I come from poverty, right? I don't
Yeah.
have money to push my ideas. Like my kids have money to push their ideas.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't have that luxury. Dogs in America, when people say, "Is that okay to train a dog with food?" Well, that means you have money
Hmm.
because the dog would do it for loyalty. You don't need money for that. You just have to earn it.
Which requires you to be more centered within yourself and being more noble and silence and using your energy and such.
And walking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the more you walk, the bird have to fly, the fish have to swim, and the dog have to walk. So the
Yeah.
more you migrate with a dog, the more you connect. Right? Because you're going to migrate to different places and you're going to tell them, hey, the same thing we did in North Carolina, we're going to do it in Nebraska. Rules, by limitations everywhere. I know it's a different scent, different sign, different sounds, but it's the same rules, by limitations. And the dog say, oh, no matter where we go, we practice the same thing. And my pack leader is very consistent, very organized, very disciplined. Is very dedicated to the pack. They have to see that you're dedicated to the pack, so that the pack dedicates themselves to you. So it's a mutual loyalty,
An agreement.
an agreement.
Yeah.
It's an agreement, but it doesn't stop. This is where people fail, because they think being a pet parent is a part-time thing, and as you know, it's not.
Right.
Having children is not a part-time thing. Oh, you're
No.
100% that. Marriage fails because people have a part-time idea of the marriage, right? I done it. I'm sharing it from a place of, okay, I didn't practice that, but first it was we were not compatible, right? And so
Yeah.
it wasn't going to work. It doesn't matter, the mother of my children. It doesn't matter what I work. We were not compatible, so it's not. It was just for other reasons, and then you learn to surrender quicker. So you have no regrets, because
Yeah.
every person, every dog, every situation is here to teach you a lesson, to make you a better human, and that's why the new show is called Better Human, Better Dog. It became more clear,
Mm.
what my mission is. And I'm a man of a mission. It's not just my goal is this anymore, or things. No, I like the mission part.
Obviously, the word energy gets a lot of buzz around it and it gets a lot of interpretation. I think a lot of dog owners, and it's hard because it's not like, hey, you have to put your hand on the leash like this and it has to feel like this. And it's not something physical, right? It's not something that you can put in your hand and show somebody. So, how would you describe? I mean, I know you have your, intentions and emotions, but to me, I think energy is something that we feel within ourselves.
Yep.
I think some people feel it in different parts of their bodies physically. I think depending on where they are. How how do you describe that to somebody that hasn't even heard that word before, Caesar? To where they can be broken down so much that they go, "Oh, this is where I need to go mentally," or "This is what I should feel."
Well, it's energy is the same thing as frequency, is the same thing as vibration. I think the easiest way that we all worldwide will agree is through music,
Mm.
right? Because certain vibration send you to the noble silence. Certain vibration sends you to the calmness. Certain vibrations send you to the confidence. Like if we play Rocky Balboa, right? We all know it's for calm. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all know that vibration is going to send us there. And romantic music, that's for the heart.
Mm.
The parades in Brazil is for the joy,
Mm.
right? So it's a different vibration of music, and that music is worldwide, just like a dog. It's just it's more tangible. The music to immediately hear it and immediately vibrate or move. And it's I don't know how to dance. Don't worry, close your eyes and just let the vibration move you. Don't try to dance like everybody else. Just let the vibration move you, and that is energy,
Mm.
right? And then that
Yeah.
energy has a feeling, and then that feeling. So what's the feeling? Well, it can have a feeling of silence, calmness, confidence, love, joy. Dog people believe that the only vibration they can vibrate is love. But
Mm.
that's just one of the five vibrations, because joy, it has nothing to do with love. Joy is a it's a joyful thing, right?
Yeah.
When people are too excited in front of us, like when the drunk friends, right?
Yeah.
They're too joyful. They're like, calm down, right? Or the friends that become too loving, it's like, right? Or the friends that
Yeah.
become too strong and they go to aggression,
Mm.
right? Or the
It's
ones that
interesting how
become
that really paints a picture, right? You think of that friend that gets that way and how much you would actually, I mean, some people would probably stop it or block it or redirect it or something, and other people just kind of welcome more of it, you know?
Yep, but also the same alcohol can make a person excited, very loving, very confident,
Yeah.
or very calm, or very quiet. You see, it sends them to the five worlds.
Mm.
So, right? So when the alcohol controls you, boom. But when you're already in that frame of mind and you drink a little, because I'm Mexican, so I like to drink and I like to dance and I like to sing and I like to eat, right? I don't do it when I don't feel good. I do it
Right.
when I already feel good. So it enhance,
Mm.
this vibration, this energy that I already have, right? But I have
Yeah.
to. be aware, right? Self-aware of how some people are going to say, well, how to through the feelings? Well, you can feel quiet, you can feel calm, you can feel confident. If for you the word feeling is how you're going to see yourself inside, because you're not supposed to see yourself outside. You're supposed to feel yourself inside. So many times, we do exercise where we close the eyes of people and we tell them to go inside a kennel to get a dog, or we tell them to walk a pack of dogs with their eyes closed, with the headphones on, right? So we
Yeah.
remove senses because we want them to remember the peacefulness of walking with dogs.
Mm.
We want them to remember to trust themselves, and the memory of the breath of trust, the memory of the silence, the safety that they feel inside, right? So the safety, when you feel safe or when you don't feel safe, you feel it over here in the begin and your parts, right? Because that's the spirituality, that's the instinct, that's where all life is created. So of course you're gonna feel peace there, and you're gonna feel fear there, because that's where the energy starts, right? So it's one way to, oh, my stomach, that means I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm breathing too fast. Oh, I'm not calm. I'm questioning myself. I'm not confident. And if you have all of that stuff, you're not gonna love yourself because there's three negative energies already inside of you. So love, it has no space for love,
Mm.
right? And if you get
Yeah.
excited, you're gonna be excited in a way where you're gonna people are gonna feel like around you because you're already not feeling good, but you're being excited. So it's like a really bad enchilada. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like when people put the wrong cheese on stuff. They're supposed to put their cheese,
Yeah.
because the taste is going to be different.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
guacamole is a simple thing, but it's a simple thing,
Yeah.
right? So you can
Yeah.
enjoy what we Mexicans create with the guacamole.
Yeah.
But once you start putting shit on it, it changes the flavor.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
remember, I always tell natural, simple, profound. Do that first, and then go do something else. Then
Yeah.
like what's happening right now with the people that they want to focus on. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. That's fine. That's later after you master your natural, simple, profound. Because a dog doesn't care what
No.
gender you want to be that day, right? So it's more for the human. The human wants to have this freedom of create something new. Fine, fine, but don't skip what's already created for your own good. It's nothing to do with me. It's just I want everybody to have the most amazing relationship with a dog, right? I
Right.
don't care if you're a cat. I don't care if you're a horse. I don't care if you're from Mars, right?
Yeah.
What we share in TCW is, look, guys, life is simple. We make it complicated. It's part of the principles, right?
Yep.
And the world is it's not a safe place, in most part. Definitely Mexico is not. Right now people don't feel good with Donald Trump, and or the Democrats or whatever, right? That's America. For me, I'm fine because this is a much better government than what I ever lived.
Right. For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one thing that we can all achieve is to have an amazing relationship with our animals, with money or without money. And people will say, well, without money, well, we have homeless in America with dogs. Okay,
That
so that's
follow
already
quite
proven.
well.
That's already proven,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
for America to say, or for you viewers to say, oh, it's impossible to have it without. Listen, in America, a dog will never go without food because people will give you money.
Hmm.
So it's not an obstacle.
Right.
It's
Right.
not an obstacle. Don't put obstacles in your head, because and then you attract them.
For sure.
Yeah. So having a good relationship with a dog should be for people with low income, middle class, and rich people. Obviously, the rich people, but as you know, the rich people have even more problems.
Yes. Very true.
No reason, for no reason
I
at all.
I have to tell you, so we have ducks in our backyard right there, and they're in a big fenced-in area, and so we got them last summer. And this past, probably it was late summer. My normal routine: you walk out in the morning, get the food out for the ducks, the whole thing. And so we had some females that were laying some eggs, and they were kind of collecting, doing their thing, right, sitting on
Yeah.
them, doing the whole thing at night. And so it got to the point where they wouldn't allow the males in, right? Like they wanted the males to stay away. They're doing their motherly thing, right? Everything. So we ended up we didn't separate them, but we just kind of kept the doors open so that the females could go in and out and do their thing. I walk out one morning out of our back door, and immediately it was like this wave hit me. I was like, something is off. Like they were in the yard, but kind of separate from each other. And I was like, what is this? What is happening? Like it was just very different. And so at that time, we had 8 ducks. And of course, you go through and you count one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, right? The
Yeah.
whole thing. So I keep counting. I only come to 7. And I'm like, okay, so like I keep looking and I found the 8th one dead.
Hmm.
And there was a little hole in our fence with some raccoon tracks. And I remember like, ugh, it was almost like this heavy blanket hit, right? And I tell this story to my clients sometimes because like this is the energy. Like I'd never felt this energy from a different animal before, like other than my dogs, right? Like it was in the entire backyard, this whole vibe. And so obviously with training dogs, follow through is most important, recovery is most important, right? Like to do what we have to do. So once I saw the duck that had passed, I was like, okay, so obviously predator came in, there was prey involved. I have to get these mothers back on their eggs because if they stay out of where the eggs are, then the eggs aren't going to survive, you know?
Hmm.
So I slowly did my herding thing, got them
Hmm.
back in. I was pretty sure that's where it happened because they hesitated so much to get back into our shed. You could see that like there was a threshold, there was a mental barrier that told them I should not go back into
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
Took a little time, they got back in there, and of course they made all sorts of noise when they got on their eggs and everything. But I I can only imagine because you have countless animals at the DPC, right, of all different species and stuff. But I never felt anything like that around a dog. I'd never felt, and we were talking before we recorded, like they're a flight animal, right? They're super, super sensitive to any
Hmm.
movement, but still nothing tangible that I could say, hey, this is what it looked like. This is just what it felt like. But have you ever experienced anything like that, Caesar, where you kind of walk into whether it's the paddock or something, and you just kind of feel like
You
it's
know,
off or it's different?
the raccoons here in LA are humans. And they broke into my house, right? And it's the same feeling because you feel this somebody came in uninvited. That energy
Yeah,
uninvited, right? And the
yeah,
raccoon, the raccoon is feeding his family, blah blah blah. It means no harm, but the humans do, right? So you also feel this evilish energy because the raccoon is just doing instinctual behavior. It's not
right,
evil about. But
right.
you're right, right? You're right. It's life and death. So you felt the intention of some. I need to do a ritual because I need to feed my family, right? And these guys are coming from a different place because I have never felt the need to go and steal anything, right? And so I work for my money. I work for my food. I do what the raccoon does, but in a different
Yeah,
way. The real
yeah,
raccoon.
yep,
But you feel that energy. I think a lot of people when they have their home broken into, you have this energy. They're they're just you feel validated. What's the word? Uh, Not validated, but invaded.
invaded. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, this
yeah.
you didn't invite these people.
Violated.
Violated. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's something really deep inside feels that, but way before you enter, you already feel something.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You already feel something. And so yeah, here no animal have like a raccoon or like a bobcat or anything like that because Lorenzo helps
yeah,
with protecting the coyotes against coyotes, against bobcats and rattlesnakes. It's not, even the koi, they have never died due to even a hawk. We
mm,
have 3 hawks that live in the property, and to me, like they're my guardians because I do ayahuasca. And they're my guardians, spiritual guardians. So I love to see them here. If they ever want to have a sushi, go for it, right? But they never. They eat squirrels, and as you know, we have millions of squirrels here.
yeah.
So they never touch the fish. I have a really nice, you know, everybody coexists really nice at the DPC. Even, the animals, they belong to this land, the coyotes
Yep.
and everybody else, the rattlesnakes. We never had a death situation.
Mm. Do you miss having a large pack of dogs?
Yes,
What was
yes.
the most amount that you had at one time?
65. 65 dogs. And yeah, as you know, this is when I was way before the TV show, and
Yeah.
Andre and Calvin were already born. So I was a father of two humans that and they're not an easy couple guy. Right? And then 65 dogs. I have to learn English. I didn't have papers, so you have to worry about, the
Yeah.
immigration. My marriage wasn't good, so all of that stuff. So I'm mentioning all of that stuff because you don't just have 65 dogs. You also have two kids. You also have this,
Yeah.
other layer of you, like learning English is another responsibility, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing that you do. You have to make sure, hey, count it on it, and just be aware of it. Otherwise, you're not going to understand why you're so tired. But the largest amount that I walked with, there was 83 dogs. You met Cherry Lucas.
Yeah.
That was, when we were okay, and we walked 83 dogs. 65 were mine, and the other 20 were hers.
Wow.
And she was way in the back, and I was in the front, and then we just walked 83 dogs.
That's energy. That's energy, right? Like that's you got to feel, I don't want to say like a high because you also want to maintain your energy and your calmness about it too, but I always tell people, and of course, I see it when you do a TCW too, like getting somebody to walk two or three, four or five dogs at a time. You can see their confidence and everything build. You can see it come to the surface.
Yeah.
So to me, when I hear something like that, that's like Michael Jordan raising the NBA Finals trophy, right? I mean, that's like the epitome.
Yeah. No, the level of happiness combined with the silence, because you
Mm,
can't get excited. You're in front of 83 dogs. So at the moment you
yeah,
get excited, they're gonna run. They're gonna take off, play and explore. And I said,
yeah,
no, 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 we're walking for hours, right? And so
yeah,
you have to do this very, very happy, and you turn around and you have this massive wave of, dogs, and then the breath turns into the same, right? It's like
yeah.
synchronized swimming. And that's a beauty thing. That's that I understand why the surfers like to surf 100-foot wave versus a
Mm,
10-foot wave,
mm,
right?
yeah,
It's this massive energy following you. And what does the guys do? They just stay calm, in balance. They're not going there because they haven't
no,
finished. They haven't
yeah,
finished. They do this once they finish.
yeah.
They do the love and joy celebration once they finish. They ride the wave, silence, calmness, confidence.
You
Right?
know, it's interesting when you say that too, because when I first did the cold plunge,
Yeah.
and I hadn't seen like what you're supposed to do beforehand, I was like, I'm not going to say I was getting myself pumped up, but it was like, okay, I can do this, right? Like you're kind of cheering yourself on, you're hyping yourself up. And the first time I did it, I get in for like a minute and I was like, oh no, not at all, right? Like, and then it hit me. I'm like, I went into that with the wrong frame of mind. I
Yeah.
need to find peacefulness here first. I need to find that part of my brain that says, okay, it's time to breathe. It's time to settle. Welcome this. You know what it's going to feel like. Expect it. Welcome it. Like the whole thing. After I couldn't believe the shift in what I could handle when I shifted my state of mind compared to going in it all hyped up. It was kind of cool. And then, of course, obviously that helps you with dogs because you can kind of trigger that same mindset when you're dealing with a dog that's overexcited or too forward or too intense. So it's it was very profound for me the first few times that I did the cold plunge.
Highly recommend to anybody that have not yet achieved their calm confidence to master their cold plunge 3 minutes, right? Because you need to walk more than 3 minutes with a dog, but 3 minutes is plenty of time to teach you
Yeah.
calm, right? Because you got to go in there and your fight flight avoidance, boom, and then you have to change the fight flight avoidance to your calm surrender. Then once you are in your calm surrender, then you can go into your happy go lucky, right? And
Yeah.
then once you finish, you can celebrate with calm confidence. And you just have to remember the feelings of it,
Yeah.
right? because a dog needs to feel that that what you're seeing in your mind and what you're asking with your words, you're feeling it.
Mm.
That's a trifecta, right? The
Yep.
human needs to see it. They needs to see a dog calm surrender. That's the vision, right? To become the best doctor in the world, you need to see it before you actually see it.
Yeah.
You see it inside your head, so you visualize this behavior. Like people that have problems with the dog. Oh, my dog runs away. Okay, you need to see your dog not running away. Not
Yeah.
you're not faking it to yourself. You just visualizing what you really want, because most people see the dog running away. So
Mm.
this, so what they see, they end up manifesting it, right?
No
And then,
doubt.
and then no manifestation can be done without you being calm, surrender, happy-go-lucky, calm, confident about it, right?
Yeah.
That's the secret right there. So how do I know I'm going to manifest? Because you were calm, surrender, because you were happy-go-lucky, because you were calm, confident. It will. Now it's just a matter of time. Then the noble silence comes in, because that's where the vibration of patience, right? And then
Yeah.
and then what's third? Well, homework. You do it, until you get there.
Repetition.
Until you get there. For 20
Yeah.
years, I did a TV show, right? That I got there. I'm in a much better place. Can I go higher? Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 20 years of me is like, wow, I can actually teach people in 3 minutes energy, philosophy, actions. In 3 minutes. Doesn't mean you're gonna do it. Uh,
Right.
The, the
Right.
only way you can master is that you follow the homework. But in 3 minutes, I can tell you about energy, philosophy, actions.
Yeah.
And I'm not just gonna sell it to you, I'm feeling it, right? So I can tell you energy, philosophy, actions in 3 minutes, and you're gonna feel that what I'm telling you is the truth, because I felt it, because I feel it,
Yeah.
because I'm doing it, because I live in it, right? It's That's the difference between one teacher and the other teacher. Some teachers can learn stuff from the book and just repeat stuff. At one point, they will get to the feeling. But then there's teachers like me that feel things and then they learn how to teach it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so then we develop this strong energy of conviction, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to go and talk to Elon Musk and convince him in 3 minutes that this is the way.
Yeah.
Follow what I mean? Now we're talking
Yeah.
about guys who live in a different planet, a different thing. But for me, it's like, no, I could teach them. I can teach the prince, the king of Saudi Arabia. I can teach the president of China. I can actually, you can put 10 leaders of the world and I can teach them. See what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
that only, but if you would have tell me, would you teach Elon Musk 10 years ago? I'm not ready.
Mm.
I'm good
Right.
at it, but I'm not, energetically, I don't feel ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh, would you say that you can train all the leaders in the world? Now I can. 10 years ago, no. It's like me sending Andre to do it, or
Right.
me sending Calvin to do it,
Right.
and that's my bloodline. So those guys is inside of them, and then they grew up with this philosophy, and they saw their father, doing this.
I think that's the difference too with I've had this conversation with our dog trainers where I'm very thankful the way my trajectory went, right? Like I caught an episode of Dog Whisperer 2004, 2007, a fence goes up in the backyard. I start taking dogs in for daycare and boarding. So I just had those episodes to go by, nothing else, no other influence. And so my backyard and the walks became my classroom.
Yep.
So I wasn't ready to teach, but I'm feeling and seeing everything, you know? And as that grows into 20, 30 dogs a day, whatever the number is, and I remember early on too, I had other trainers going, "Hey, do you do shadow programs?" And I'm like, I'm not there. Like
Yep.
because you want more of that feeling to get to the point where you're like, okay, I have a good grasp enough to be able to help that person that's just beginning to
Yep.
kind of start their craft. So when you say that, that's kind of where my brain went was like, we have to build it, we have to feel it. I remember in the beginning for me to take one dog with a leash and a treat pouch and to go into a room by ourselves, I my head I it would probably explode. Like I it just I couldn't put my head around how that would be enjoyable to me and to the dog. I know there's a ton of people that do it and do it well.
Yeah.
Put me in the middle of 10 or 20 dogs, and that's like the happy place, right? Like it's just how they move, how they interact, the body language, the energy. I don't know. That's that feeling I think that you're referring to, right?
Yeah, plus also one thing that you're saying, I didn't feel comfortable doing it. That's because you're listening to your honor,
Mm,
right? Yeah. So you know deep inside that you want to be in your mastery, right? And so when you're an honorable human, and that's why I like to work with you, and the people that I bring close into my intimate space is people that have honor. They just work in their skills.
yeah.
You follow what I mean? I
Yeah.
can't build honor on people. They have to come with it. And so
Right.
you, as an honorable human being, you're always gonna make sure that you give people more than what they're asking, and that includes your energy, right? Because that's the right
Yep.
thing to do. That makes you a
Right.
good. That makes you
Right.
a good human. Most people they will give you less than, and you know what I mean. So
Yep.
they will be a fraud. You're not a fraud, right? They will not be honest, and that's something that I can't live. I don't want to live. I don't want to. I just don't want to do nothing that doesn't have full honor. I
Right.
love the Navy SEALs. I love, the Marines. I love. That's my thing.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
it's that team concept where you all know what to expect from each other, you can depend on each other, and you're willing to work for each other too, you know? And I think that's the benefit, like being a part of your staff. Man, somebody comes over the radio and asks for something, three people jump, right?
Yeah.
Like I've never been at any other job in my life where you're with other employees where there's a request and three normally people just kind of look around at each other like, are you going to do this or are you going to do this? And it's different at the DPC, and that's one thing I think we all look forward to going out there is that camaraderie and that depth of wanting and willing to work for each other.
That's help us helping the world,
Yeah.
right? And the world helping us because the students that come here, it makes us better.
Yeah.
So it's mutual. And
Yep.
that's the community I tell you. You have to come to the land, right? The DPC is magical. It's magical because it was built to create miracles, right? So the
Yep.
land, the philosophy, and the community. And that's for me is one of my greatest achievements to create a community with you guys, right? Because
Yeah.
I didn't know any of you, but somehow you all came and
Yep.
became packed for the same purpose. Of course, you guys want to learn, but at the same time, I needed the help because it's a pack of humans that we need to, make sure that they feel safe, peace, and love, trust, respect, love, exercise, discipline, affection, and everybody. What do I ask all the time? So, what do you learn today?
Mm, the
Right?
famous question.
The famous question, what do you learn today? Then I'm
Yep.
gonna see, right? I'm gonna feel, I'm gonna hear it. I say, okay, they're good, they're clear. Or I'll tell you, can you go help? Or I tell Steve, can you go help? I tell,
Yep.
oh, Joe, can you go help? Or whoever is around and say, can you make sure they're clear?
Yeah.
And if you can't get there, you bring it to me,
Yep.
right? Because and
Yep.
then I give responsibilities to the people that I know they're growing.
Yeah. Yep.
By me pushing you guys, it pushes the mission, better human, better planet. Because you're pushing by doing it, energy, philosophy, actions. You're pushing this this dream that the whole world, no matter if you're low income, you have an amazing relationship with a dog. Why not?
Right. Why not?
Why
Yeah.
not? You just
We
have to
create
know.
beautiful things out there when students are there. When you say we change lives, the first time I was out there, I was like, really? How do we do that? And then you don't know until you experience it, even as a student, or as support staff for you or whatever. And you see the difference of people in 4 days, and you're just like, wow, that they are leaving a different person. The look on their face, the way they carry themselves, the way they hold the leash, and it's just like, wow, and it's only 4 days, right?
The
So,
life
so
will
in
never be the same.
yeah, in some ways, 4 days is a short amount of time. Other times, it's a long time. But when you see the change in them, you're like, this is just the first 4 days to their journey to wherever they're going, and it's beautiful.
Imagine if all those people that come here, they were told the same thing when they were little, when they
Mm,
were in their childhood. They wouldn't come and seek for us, right? But that means they would be generating this energy, this philosophy, these actions, their childhood, their adolescent, their adult,
yeah,
right? And they will know what to do with a dog. So what we're teaching their childhood, right? Is because everybody that
Mm,
has a dog, what are they? What is the way we love dogs is different than people in third world country love dogs,
yeah.
right? So that's one
Yep.
thing that I want to bring to a third world country. Hey guys, I know it's hard to love over here, but if you have an animal, practice this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And and here we're gonna tell them, hey, before love, this is what you do, right? And then, oh my God, I could have done this. Everybody, I could have done this long time ago. Yep,
Yep.
I'm sorry, but now don't worry about the past. Now from this to the future.
Yep.
Because people then feel sorry, and then we got to stop them from feeling sorry, feeling, oh my God, I did that. I was not a good energy for my dogs. I was not doing dog psychology for my dog. I was not doing exercise, discipline, affection for my dog. The good thing is now
Yep.
right?
And now's your time to start. Go ahead.
That's it. That's it. And
Yep.
go and teach it. Go and teach it. So if you
Yep.
want to watch whatever you did wrong, and then go help them, and watch the sin. Like I'm
Yep.
Catholic. Watch the sin, watch the sin away by doing good deeds.
Yep.
Right? And
Yep.
then and then that's it. I mean, it's all about generating the right energy, having the right philosophy, and doing the right actions.
Yep.
And that shouldn't be something that we have to go to school. That should be our parents teaching us,
Mm.
our grandparents teaching us, our communities reminding us, right? Because
Yep.
that's what makes a good community. Yeah, that's everybody looks for that community that their kids can be grow, they can grow safe, peaceful, love, with trust, with respect, with love, and smart, right? So
Yep.
that's the goal. I think we can, Donald Trump says, "Let's make America great." We've been doing that. I'm not a, I'm not a politician. I help both, blue or red. I help both. We stay in the middle, right? We stay in the middle because our goal is all America, right? All
Yep.
America. Our goal is dog America, right? So it's just everywhere. But I like the phrase, let's make America great. As an immigrant, I made America great. I always talk
Mm-hmm.
about my quote that I love from JFK's. That's not what the country can do for you. What can you do for the country? And as an immigrant, it's like, guys, I could do this for you, and I did, right?
Yeah.
And I did. Now I'm an entrepreneur. I've been considered. I'm a businessman. So now I generate, business in America. It's not like we rehabilitate a dog in Mexico and then we really here. No, we
Right.
do it here,
Yeah.
right? I hire people by the hour here, right? So it's just to open up for people, the concept of that's not what the dog can do for you. What can you do for the dog,
Mm.
right? You can
Mm-hmm.
change it. That's not what the world can do for you. What can you do for the world, right? So it puts you at service. I think it's what we need to do because it's very easy to ask,
For sure.
give us, but I think what we need to do, the exercise, is to give good energy, good philosophy, good actions, and to teach it.
Yeah. Well, Caesar, I have to say, when I first started this podcast, one of my goals was to eventually interview you on this podcast. So if it took this amount of years and this amount of time to do it in 599 episodes, I'm okay with that. So it was truly an honor to have you on here, and I certainly thank you for your time.
But thank you, and I was waiting for the 600.
I should have just told you that 300 episodes ago.
That's right. But thank
Thank you
you.
so.
Thanks to your viewers, to your listeners. Appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy this podcast. My suggestion is listen it over and over and over.
Yep.
Sometimes you can listen it with your eyes closed. Just listen to the words. Also, focus on the feeling because as two men talking to each other is a lot of love in between. Is a lot of trust. Is a lot of respect. Is a lot of honor, integrity, loyalty. So it's something that really I want to push. I wanna make sure that all men, men, woman, 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 but in this case, it's two men doing good things, right? To people who love their family, and so we're not just dog professionals. We're just a total human, a total human, and that's something that it's very important for me. It's not just
Yep.
about dog. No, no, no. It's about you being a good human. If you're good to the dog, you're good to your wife, you're good to your children, you're good to your community, you're good to your neighbors. I certainly have practiced that. The world loves me because I'm a good human. right? I'm a good human, and I'm not saying it from narcissistic or from egocentric. I work at it.
Yeah.
I work at it, and I see that a lot of people are not pushing the concept of being a good human. They're pushing the concept of money, fame, and power. But you go to TikTok, you go to Instagram, and most of the guys are talking about how to make money, right? Money, fame, power, and the real estate, and this, and da 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 da. It's like, no, I don't want to be associated, just with that. We're
Right.
capable of men to be very happy, very healthy, very loving, and very smart. And we can do that with our dogs.
Yep.
And then from the bottom of the pack to the top of the pack.
For
Everybody.
sure.
That's what makes you a good pack leader. Protection, direction, love. And that you are a really good follower, a really good happy-go-lucky, and a really good leader. So whatever the position you need to play in the pack, that's your job. That's what I tell my kids. You know what I mean? Your job is
Yep.
to make sure the pack functions.
Yep.
And if you need to be the front, and then you're the front. But if it's an empty spot in the back, you go do it.
I think, and that's also the beauty of working out there too, right? Whether you're cleaning the bathrooms or whether you're bringing a dog up on stage, like you have to be willing to fill in any role that's open at that time. And if you can, then that's it's just somebody that's easy to work with, and so I want to thank you for the opportunity to
Thank
work
you.
for you out there too. I mean, it's beautiful. I love being out there, and I can't wait to be out there again with everybody and see the
Yes.
team.
Can't
But
wait for
so
Luisito to give me dates because that's oxygen for me, the TCWs. It's
yeah.
absolutely oxygen.
Yeah, I think
All
it
right.
rejuvenates all of us.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
guys.
Caesar,
Thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye.